Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Stacy, the 911 Stitcher, and today's video is about cross stitching. Today is Saturday, August 29th, 2020, and I'd like to welcome you to a special video about samplers. I did a video on samplers about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had a wonderful response to the content, and I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed that video. So I've been promising a second video on samplers. Normally my FLOSSTUBE videos are weekly or bi-weekly, and they include cross-stitch information about every designer and cross-stitch news of all different styles, techniques, different types of things. So this one is going to be specific for sampler lovers like myself, and we're going to talk about different designers today. I've got some giveaways at the end of the video, so stay tuned. I have a special on a certain designer I picked. I'd like to show a little parade of her charts that I've chosen for today. I have an email from a subscriber or a viewer that I'd like to tell you about. She recommended a couple of really great websites to check out. I am just learning about samplers myself also. I am in no way an expert. There are experts out there that I mentioned in my last video that are so worth watching. Just some wonderful information. Just a couple off the top of my head. Nicola Parkman, she has wonderful FLOSSTUBE videos, YouTube videos on samplers. She is with Hands Across the Sea. Check her out. Kitten Stitcher, she also has a store, online cross-stitch store, kittenstitcher.com. Her name's Teresa Bennett. She is with Shakespeare's Peddler. And she is just a wonderful source of information on samplers. So those are the two that stick out the most in my mind. I know there's others out there. I'm going to be doing more research, more videos on samplers. So I'm here to pass on the information to you so you can learn along with myself. And I'd love to know if you find more websites or you know more about samplers, please let me know. Email me. I'd love to hear from you. I'm just so excited to learn more about samplers. So what I'd like to do is start with new releases. So some samplers that came out this week. I'm going to include a couple that came out last week, and I believe the Hands Across the Sea came out a couple weeks ago. So new releases that just came out. There's a company called Whilst Iris Naps, and they've come out with a couple different reproduction samplers from their own private collection that are just beautiful. So I'm going to show one here, Sarah Watson 1859, beautiful. It is a reproduction of a mid-19th century sampler from their private collection. The stitch count on this is 170 by 93, so it's not huge. It's a great size. And the good news, it's all cross stitch. So you can do it on Aida, you can do it on linen. It's a beautiful sampler to give a try. So check them out. They do have a website. It's called Whilst, W-H-I-L-S-T, irisnaps.com. And the second one I wanted to show from them is another new release that came out called Emily Harbin 1824. Now I showed it in my last video, but I didn't talk about it. It's really interesting. Emily Harbin, first ever, this is their first reproduction sampler from this designer. And Emily Harbin 1824, they wrote, she is a reproduction of an early 19th century English cross-stitch sampler from their private collection. The stitch count on this is 252 by 252, another good size. And here's Emily's story. This is what they wrote on the website. It is just a remarkable story. Not many families can say that over the course of a few generations, they have come to the aid of the British royal family, held the highest political offices, changed the prospects of the poor globally, and schooled some of the greatest female authors of all time. So that's a pretty amazing family. And I find that hearing the story of the sampler is it's just so interesting. As you're stitching a sampler, to hear the story, know the background of the family, it makes it even more fun. They have, it says details of the family history for Emily Harbin are included in the PDF that you order on their website. So check them out. It's really an interesting sampler. The chart itself is, when you receive it through PDF, it's both symbol and color version, so you do have the choice. I like that. Coming soon from the same designer, Wild Iris Snaps, Anne Logan 1840 is going to be an original Scottish sampler. If you look on their website, you can see where the coming soon area is, and you can see a little glimpse of Anne Logan. She's really pretty. And the second one they have coming soon is Elizabeth Cockerell, 1831. Another beautiful one it looks like, because they give you a sneak peek. It says, we are targeting a September release for this chart from our collection to coincide with the day that Elizabeth completed her sampler 189 years ago. How cool is that? So as you're stitching this, you know that Elizabeth stitched this 189 years ago. That's just amazing. And some of these girls are so young. I'm going to show one in a few minutes from Hands Across the Sea. It's their latest release. She was 8 years old. That is just amazing. I think about my niece, and I think about when she was 8 years old. She was into silly things, and it just shows the generations are so different. But I love I've been seeing on Instagram a lot of people teaching their young children, including boys and girls, teaching them to stitch at a very young age. It's still happening. So I think it's amazing. I wish I had sat down with Peyton and showed her how to stitch a little bit, and maybe someday I'll get that opportunity, so that way it can be passed on through my family history as well. 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers has a new release. It is called A Maid of All Work, Fanny Servant. She was 8 years old. It says 1840. The year was 1840. So this is another pretty one. If I'm showing two pictures side by side, it's going to be the one on the left. I'll try and separate them though. The other new release from 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers is Granny's Garden in the Apple Orchard. They're hoping for both of those. No, they're hoping for Granny's Garden to be a September release. Might be both of them a September release, but I wanted to show you both because I think they're so pretty. And the last one, new release that I wanted to show, came out a couple weeks ago by Nicola Parkman, Hands Across the Sea. It is Mary Ann Diaper, 1826. She was 8 years old. And Nicola's video, I believe it's 154, will give you all kinds of information on Mary Ann Diaper 1826. So check it out. It's beautiful. Just a gorgeous sampler. That's what I love about Nicola's videos, is that you get to learn so much history about the sampler. And that's why I love stitching them, because as I'm stitching it, I can think about the family. I can think about the little girl that stitched it, and you feel like you're a part of it, if that makes sense. You feel like you're a part of their life, because in a sense you are. You're stitching something they stitched. So kind of an interesting thing. Okay, I want to talk about an email that I got from a viewer from the last video. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it. Vicky, thank you so much. She emailed me with some really great information on samplers. She told me about a sampler designer named Eileen Bennett. Now, again, I love hearing about different designers. I love the history of it, and I love the website. So please share with me, email me if you think of some different designers and some websites for me to check out. So she talked about Eileen Bennett's website called thesamplerhouse.net. I checked it out. It's very interesting. I'm going to read a little bit about what Vicky said about her. She has been stitching for years. And she says, if you're interested in samplers, let's see, a wonderful designer and educator in the field. She has retired, but I believe her website's still operational. It is. I checked it out. And again, it is thesamplerhouse.net. She lives in Michigan, and she did extensive research on samplers. She used to publish a newsletter. Her website, again, samplerhouse.net. No, thesamplerhouse.net. She was a wonderful educator, and when taking one of her classes, you always came back with learning a new type of decorative stitch and some history of samplers. And when I checked out her website, I she has got some beautiful samplers, some originals and some reproductions that she's done. So check out her website, check out the designers that she has done. From what I could see, you can still order them. They're beautiful. There is an order form at the top, and then she also has a blog, which you can read through different things on her blog. She wrote 7 different booklets. She offers classes. Now, I don't know what that schedule is as far as what's going on with COVID and all that, whether there's Zoom offered or whether they're on hold right now. I'm not real sure because I didn't see dates for any classes, but she does offer classes. And again, there's the order form I saw. So I saw one especially, and I can't think of the name of it, that I really liked, that I'm thinking about ordering. So if I order and receive it and have good luck, I'll let you guys know and I'll show you the sampler. So again, it's thesamplerhouse.net. Check her out because Eileen Bennett's really interesting. Another thing that Vicki told me about was another reference would be Betty Ring's collection of Schoolgirl samplers. Her books were titled Girlhood Embroidery, American Samplers and Pictorial Needlework 1650 to 1850. She says this book in particular is out of print, but might be available at a library. So check those out too. It says there's so much to learn about samplers. I like the reproduction ones. She feels a part of their history. And that's exactly what I was saying is when you're stitching these beautiful pieces, you feel like you're part, not just of their family, but you're part of the history because you're repeating what they did. It's really fun. So the books I mentioned, Girlhood Embroidery, American Samplers, and Pictorial Needlework, 1650 to 1850. Betty Ring's collection of Schoolgirl samplers. I have not had a chance to check it out yet to see if they're available or if they're maybe at used bookstores. I'm not sure, but if I find it, I'm gonna do some more research and I'll let you guys know. Okay guys, let's talk about Sampler September because I'm gonna be participating in Sampler September. In my last video, which was just a few days ago, I had mentioned I did animals in August for my stitching. Everything that I showed in my last video was related to animals. I did talk a little bit about Sampler September. I showed some that I'm going to be interested in putting some work on. I have a work in progress. It's Anne Grimshaw 1818. Also Anne Thomas with Hands Across the Sea. Those are 2 that I will be putting some attention to during Sampler September, but I brought a whole stack of some more whips that I have that I'd like to show that will probably get some love along the way through September as well. So September is going to be a lot of fun because I'm going to pull out a lot of samplers and it's going to be a great, great month. I can't wait. I am going to do a new start. September 1st is Yvonne Leclerc, 1905 by Reflet de Soie. I just received the silks. I believe they're Soie d'Alger silks. I received fabric. I got everything from Roden, the Netherlands. There's a wonderful cross stitch shop there. I highly recommend it. The owner's name is Annemiek. She has a floss tube and it is called Die Handwerk Boetiek. And I'm gonna link the shop below. It's wonderful. She kitted everything up for me, and this is the start. This is going to be September 1st, Yvonne Leclerc by Reflet de Soie. It is, look at that. I mean, the pinks is what really draws me, is that beautiful pink, some of these purples. It's just fantastic. Here's the name of the company, the designer. I will be doing a chart parade for Reflet de Soie because I have a lot of good charts from them. So September 1st, Sampler September, this gets started. I can't wait. And another whip that I plan on working on is by Clara Weaver. It's called Eva Rosenstund. No, it's by Eva Rosenstund, Clara Weaver. Let me take it out. The plastic is, I'm having trouble. As you guys probably know, I'm recovering from elbow surgery. I don't have the full use of my hand yet because the surgery was on the nerve of the hand. So I'm having trouble gripping. Here it is. Isn't that just gorgeous? And here's the name. This is one of my whips that's going to get some attention for Sampler September. I have a thing for black, all black stitching. I think it's beautiful, and I love the orange along the border. I think it's just gorgeous. So let me show you. Okay, I had to find my fabric. Here's my progress. Isn't that beautiful? Gosh, I can't wait to get to the orange center. So I started in the upper left-hand corner, and it's just gorgeous. It came as a kit. The only thing I don't like about the kit, I'll order another one. They're wonderful kits. The floss is separated. The only thing I don't like about the kit is that if you run out of the orange floss, I don't think it tells you, if I remember right, it doesn't tell you what DMC color it is. So I would have to go to like a store and try and match it. So hopefully I have enough floss. I'm sure I do, but that's my progress on that. I think it's just, sorry guys, I'm moving it all around. Gorgeous. I'm starting to see the animals, and it's really exciting. So that's gonna get some attention. The next one I have, I showed it in the last video. I'm not gonna show them all, but just this one for sure is gonna get some love. Mary 395 from Hands Across the Sea. And just real quick, in case you did not see the last video, I'll show my progress really quick on this. And there it is. The fabric I hand dyed myself. It's a really pretty tan. And I mentioned that those letters that I'm getting ready to do, the bottom, are huge. So there's a lot of stitching in those. Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. The next one is, I believe this is Stables at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. This is on 32 count Ale by Picture This Plus. I'm using the called for colors except for the color in the border, which is like a pink I didn't have, I couldn't find. And this is my progress. I'm gonna have to stand up for this one. It's sorry for the wrinkles, geez. So you can see that the peach color comes out a lot better. It's a lot clearer than what the called for was. I don't know why, I either wasn't crazy about it or I couldn't find it. So I'm starting the other horse, the second horse, and I'm real happy with this. I think it's just really pretty. And I'm happy with the Ale that I chose, Ale by Picture This Plus. So that's Stables at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. Another favorite, Autumn Quakers. Isn't that gorgeous? This is another favorite by Rosewood Manor. My progress on this is definitely going to get worked on no matter what. It is on, I believe, Vintage Country Mocha 32 count. That's my progress on that. That's so pretty. So that's a possibility. Sampler September. This one for sure. That's a definite. The next one is by Blackbird Designs. It is called Salute to Abigail. I believe someone finished this well, not recently, but it is a gorgeous chart. I'm trying to find the whole picture for you. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is so pretty. Salute to Abigail, Blackbird Designs. It's located in the Sweet Land of Liberty book by Blackbird. Gorgeous, gorgeous sampler. This is on 32 count taupe. And this is my progress. So this will get some love, definitely in Sampler September. Those reds, that red I chose, I wish, what did I choose? I want to say it's a DMC that I picked. These are the colors so far. White, can't barely see the white. Those are the colors. The red is a DMC 304. I wanted a bright red, so I think that's beautiful. I think it came out good. The next one I plan on working on is Ann Roberts, Hands Across the Sea. I have a little bit of a start on this. That's beautiful. There's a lot of people doing this one, a lot of finishes that are gorgeous. My progress, this is on Vintage Country Mocha. It is 20 count. I wanted something different, so that's my progress here. That's just really pretty. I really like the Vintage Country Mocha. I think the colors stand out really well. So that's a possibility for Sampler September. The next one is Antrim's Folly, Heart's Ease Exemplar Works. It is Antrim's Folly, a Burlington County inspiration. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? I love her dress and I love that house, or that mansion, I should say, and the spotted cow. And down here is where I started. You can't barely see, but it says Burlington County, New Jersey. So again, this is Heart's Ease. Here's the name. Heart's Ease Exemplar Works, Antrim's Folly, a Burlington County inspiration. How beautiful. I don't have much of a start. I actually probably shouldn't even bother showing it because I'm doing that dark black border. So see, this is definitely going to get some love this September because I want to finish that black border. That's my goal for this one. I'm using DMCs, and the DMC colors are really pretty. Lots of beautiful colors. Bright, cheery, really pretty. So Antrim's Folly. The fabric, I'm gonna have to tell you on another video because I don't know what it is. Two more. This is a popular one, Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. Isn't that pretty? And my progress on this, I am doing it on 40 count birch by Wichelt, I believe. The called for color is Tin Roof. I ordered Tin Roof, I got it in the mail, and I didn't like the called for colors on the fabric. So many of them didn't show up, but it could have been just my cut of fabric. It just didn't seem to, the colors didn't pop. Some of them blended in with the fabric. So I chose birch, and that's my progress so far on Land That I Love. I started in the upper left-hand corner. Another possibility for Sampler September. Okay, another one, the last one. This one is one of my favorites, so it's gonna get worked on. Teresa Kogut, Heaven in Nature. I started up in here. I've got all this done right here. This is on Seraphim 32 count Seraphim fabrics, and this is my progress. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that's so cute. I love the border, and so this is another possibility for Sampler September. I love it. That new start, that Reflet de Soie, Yvonne Leclerc, I can't wait. That's starting September 1st. Gosh, that's just gonna be so beautiful. Part of today's video, I wanted to include a chart parade for a real popular designer, The Sampler Company by Brenda Keys. She's one of my favorites, and I'm collecting all of her charts, and I have a good stash. I have a pretty good stack going on right here. So I thought I would go ahead and do a chart parade on The Sampler Company. The one I'm working on now is called I Went to Church Sampler, and this is what it looks like. I showed it in my last video. I do have a stitch along with Becca from My Stitchy Home called The Roving Eye Sal. I went to church on Sunday. My love, she passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. So I love this. This was my favorite one of the Sampler Company. And I'll show you progress just real quick because you may have already seen it in my last video. Using 32 count buttercream. That's my progress. Upper left-hand corner. It's real pretty. This for sure I'll be working on Sampler September. So that one is the I Went to Church sampler. The next one from the Sampler Company, Brenda Keys, is called Learn Little Maid. Isn't that pretty? That house is gorgeous. She definitely has a thing for houses of designing them so beautiful. This house in particular, especially with the top part right up in here, reminds me of Kensington Palace in London, a place I visited many times, and the front of it reminds me. If you look at a picture of Kensington Palace, for some reason it just reminds me. So this was called Learn Little Maid by the Sampler Company. The next one, the Red House Sampler. I know you guys have seen it. It's gorgeous. What a beautiful chart. Red House Sampler. It is 275 by 233. Beautiful. The next one, Sampler Company, Hester Biddleton Sampler. This is pretty. This is definitely on the top of my list. That and the one I just showed before that reminds me of Kensington Palace, Learn Little Maid. That is at the top of my list to finish after I finish I Went to Church sampler. So this one's Hester Biddleton sampler. The next one, Church on the Hill, designed by Brenda Keys. That's pretty. Those blues at the top, I really like that blue. Church on the Hill sampler is 245 by 161. She stitched this on a 25 count cream Lugana. There's not a ton of colors either. Here's the color list. So it's not like, you know, 80 colors or 100 colors. Like Antrim's Folly has a lot of colors. Of course it's a bigger, you know, it's a bigger sampler. But now this one's got a little more color to it. Kind, Fond, Love sampler. That's pretty, the blues. That's what really drew me, is the blue color. It's 317 by 189. It was stitched on a 25 count cream Lugana. And again, Kind, Fond, Love sampler. That's the name. And these are the colors. So see a little bit more colors on this one. Next up, the New England sampler. This is 240 by 191. That's pretty. Just a pretty scene. 25 count Floba Natural. I have never heard of that before. Here's the colors. You know what I love about her charts? She always has pictures, beautiful pictures throughout the chart. And that's this one. New England sampler. The next one, Providence sampler. Brenda Keys, the Sampler Company, 232 by 232. That's pretty. It's just, gosh, these are just gorgeous. I love collecting them. This one doesn't have as many colors either. So you get an idea of the DMC colors that are chosen. Providence sampler. I took them all out of the plastic for you guys so there was no glare. The next one is Sweet Humility sampler. Look at that house. The colors, the shading on the top of the house, or the moss at the top of the house. I think that's what I love so much about her samplers, is the moss that hangs down. It's so pretty. So this one is Sweet Humility sampler. Not a lot of colors, just a, you know, some. And again, look at how beautiful this picture is. Just little pictures to go with your chart. I like that. These blues is what really attracts me. One of my favorite colors. The next one is the bird sampler, Brenda Keys. Now I like birds, so this really caught my eye. This is 159 by 209. This has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 colors. It's beautiful. So elegant looking. Bird sampler. Another pretty one. The next one, Plant Wisdom Sampler by the Sampler Company. Look at that. Again, a totally different set of houses and a different tree. I love that hanging, the tree hanging like that. Plant Wisdom Sampler is 235 by 235. It's on a 28 count cream even weave. Those colors really pop on that. I think it's pretty. Okay, a couple more. I've got the Sisters Sampler by Brenda Keys, the Sampler Company. This one looks like it's all in black. Yep, it's all black 310. Now this is my kind of thing. The Sisters Sampler is 163 by 203. How pretty. Gosh, that's beautiful. Two more. This one's called A Sampler's Story, 295 by 199. I don't know why this picture looks a little blurry. Some of the pictures on here are just the tiniest bit blurry on the chart. 295 by 199 says it was stitched on 28 count cream Quaker cloth. I've never heard of Quaker cloth. So that's a pretty one. Yeah, this picture's the tiniest bit blurry, so hopefully you get an idea up close of the different scenes. Like I said, it's a tiny bit blurry, but there are all kinds of different scenes on this one, A Sampler Story. Last but not least, we have the Contented Mind Sampler, 359 by 358, so it's bigger. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I like that. Look at that center. It's almost like a front gate to a palace. It's pretty. The Contented Mind Sampler. I am missing one. Oh, this was 18. This was stitched as fabric 18 count rustico, or substitute 36 count natural linen. That's really pretty. Gosh, I love this one. This will be another top of the list type of thing. Okay, that's the Brenda Keys, the Sampler Company Parade. I have more parades I want to do. I have a lot of Long Dog to show. I have Hands Across the Seas to do. I have a lot of Queenstown Sampler. Who else? I'll let you be surprised, but I have a lot more. The Brenda Keys Company, the Sampler Company, is one of my favorites. Let me show a few bits of haul that I got in the mail. Gosh, this is, I don't even know where to start. It's so beautiful. Sarah Mary Larkworthy, 1727 by Hands Across the Sea. The colors is what really, really attracts me, is that blue. Here's the name. Larkspur, what is it? Larkworthy, 1727. This is just gorgeous. The sampler was reproduced with Alvera Soie silks, 2 strands on 36 count. Maybe that's why it's so bright and vibrant, and that's what I like. It says, Sarah stitched her sampler with cross stitch over 2 threads, Algerian eyelet, stem stitch, and satin stitch. Gosh, that's just so beautiful. I think why I like collecting charts so much is because I like to just look at them. My husband laughs because, you know, when I go to bed at night, I have a book. I read a lot too, but I'll grab a stack of charts and I'll just look at them. And I read about them because there's always a story, especially with Hands Across the Sea. There's always a booklet and a story. And that's why I collect charts. Sarah Dawes, 1840 is just incredible. I'm going to show it up close in a few minutes, but that, oops, I'm cutting the bottom off. That's it here. Okay, now I'm going to show it up close so you get an idea. Look at that blue. Oh my gosh. It's fantastic. And the bird at the bottom with the ladies. Oh my gosh. This is stunning. This is truly stunning. See the border? Hands Across the Sea. Sarah Dawes, 1840. Just wow. I wanted to see, what is that middle? Oh, is it a basket? Yeah, it's a basket and more birds. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. This was also, the model was done Soie d'Alger silks, 2 strands on 36 count fabric. It was stitched on 40 count lakeside linen vintage meadow rue. What a beautiful fabric too. Another one I have, Sarah Stewart Hardman, age 7 years old, 1824, by Needlework Press. Oh my gosh, 7 years old. That's just incredible. This is so amazing to me. I'm fascinated by it. Let's see, here's a different type. Now, again, I mentioned in my last video, there's so many different types of samplers. You've got different centuries. You've got different countries samplers. You've got Dutch, French, English samplers from all over, but you've also got Quaker samplers. You've got different motifs that you can do. You can do different scenes, like a farm scene, or it's just, that's why I love samplers, is the variety. And then you've got your alphabet. And this is just another classic, Modern Folk Embroidery, the Bristol Monkey Sampler. Look at that. Now this isn't gonna get started until I finish Mary 395, which I think I'm gonna work on today. But again, a totally different company, a different style. There's samplers for everybody. It isn't just doing the repetitive border. It isn't just doing alphabet. It isn't just doing Quaker motifs. You can pick what you want. There's a style for everybody, and that's what I love so much about it. So this is the Bristol Monkey Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery that I got a PDF on. Here's an older one I got off of a stash unload that I thought was so beautiful. Better Homes and Gardens Variegated Floss Sampler. Now that's interesting, Variegated Floss Sampler. Take a look. Sorry I'm so shaky. I'm only a week out post-op from elbow surgery, so I'm really shaky and I have laryngitis pretty bad sometimes. But anyway, that's gorgeous. I'll show it up close so you guys get a better look. What a beautiful, beautiful chart. Those 2 birds really caught my eye. This says, relax and let the colors flow. It is, let's see here. I'm trying to see some instructions on. DMC and anchor is what it's charted for. A little bit of back stitching, not too bad. French knot, and that's it. Otherwise, it's just straight cross stitch. From what I see, without glasses. So anyway, that's beautiful. And here's the name. This is what the chart looked like. It is Cooler Design Studio, designed by Nancy Rossi. What a beautiful, beautiful sampler. Let's do a couple more, and then I'm going to do giveaways. Barbara Anna Designs, the Portuguese bird sampler. That's different. It's pretty, different colors. That's what I love about it. It was stitched on 40 count white linen, 275 by 335. It's a little bit bigger than what I pictured. I thought it looked kind of small, but it's actually bigger. Barbara Anna Designs. Another one, actually 2 of them from Traditional Sampler Kit. This one I'm going to take out because the plastic's a little yucky. Traditional Sampler Kit, counted thread cross stitch. Moira, Blackburn. This apparently was a kit at one time, but I bought just the chart. And this is it. I do not see a name on it. I'm gonna have to research the name. While I'm showing it, I'll try and flip through. Oh, Peaceful Garden Sampler by Moira, Blackburn. That's really pretty. 211 by 327. It is charted for DMC. Gorgeous, gorgeous chart. Another one by Moira Blackburn, 3 Things Sampler. Let's take this out. 3 Things Sampler, 263 by 359, 359. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So much detail in these. It is charted with DMC as well. I really like that. I'll show one more and then we'll do the giveaways. This one is by the Scarlet Letter. It is Elizabeth Sheffield, Newport, Rhode Island, 1784. Now this is a picture of the original sampler, the reproduction. So I'm going to see if I can insert a picture here of the actual chart photo. That's like a stitched up one. And here is Elizabeth Sheffield, 1784. I can't even imagine having those beautiful blues stand out the way they do. It is gorgeous, a gorgeous chart. Hopefully I can find another picture. From the American Folk Art Museum in New York, Elizabeth Sheffield, 1784, were among the first American schoolgirl embroideries to be recognized by serious collectors and textile scholars as a distinctive group with extraordinary visual appeal. Boy, that's the truth. Says, Sheffield samplers delicately worked with an unusual, pleasing combination of colors in a petite point strawberry band pattern, unique spread-winged bird in the upper left-hand corner. Although Elizabeth provided her birth date in the typical Newport sampler manner, her identity is uncertain. She may have been the daughter of Amos and Mary Burrington Sheffield, who married in Newport in 1787. That is so interesting. So yeah, it's the blues that really attracted me to this. I think it's just beautiful. This is by the Scarlet Letter. Okay guys, let's go ahead and do 2 giveaways for this video. They are both samplers. The first one is called A Part of Anne Dale. Now Shakespeare's Peddler released the entire Anne Dale chart. It's gorgeous. This one is the part of that chart. It's the bottom part, the really beautiful bottom part of it. And this is what it looks like. If you're interested, you're gonna comment below. I'll see if I can include a better picture because this one looks like it came off of a printer and it's a little faded, but if you'd like this one, A Part of Anne Dale, it's not the whole one, it's just the bottom part. I'll include a better picture so you can see. That's gonna be giveaway number 1. In comments below, you're going to tell me something about samplers. Tell me maybe some designers that you like. Tell me your first sampler that you completed, maybe one you're working on or one you want to start. Doesn't have to be one that's finished. The only one I have finished is A Perfect World by the Scarlet House. I finished that a couple weeks ago. So number 1 giveaway, Shakespeare's Peddler, A Part of Anne Dale. That's number 1. And number 2, I'm excited to give this to you guys, Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. This is giveaway number 2. So in comments, put I'm interested in 1 or I'm interested in 2, or just comment, if you'd like to say something about samplers, that'd be great. Tell me some of your designer favorites, maybe a chart you're working on. something in comments, but make sure and tell me one or two, or you can put in for both. You're more than welcome. Guys, that's it. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. This video has been a lot of fun. I could sit here and just look at samplers all day. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will have another sampler video in a couple of weeks, and I'll show you some progress, give you an update on Sampler September, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. The winners of this giveaway will be announced next week on my regular FlossTube video. So subscribe and come back and visit me so you can see if you did win. I'll also message you. It's done by random Google selector. So I'll message you on your comment. So keep an eye out. If you see something pop up from me that's a comment that you won, email me as soon as you can and I'll get the chart out to you. That's about it. Follow me on my Facebook group. It's Stitching 911. 911 are the numbers 911. We'd love to have you. We have Zoom meetups that are a lot of fun. We have giveaways in the group separate from these giveaways. We have new releases that we post, and all of our group members are always posting their progress and finishes and stitching information. So Stitching 911 on Facebook. I am on Instagram. 911 Stitcher is all spelled out. And thank you. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got some stitching done while you were listening to me, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye, guys.